Very good afternoon to you, Dada. So from the level of engagement with your members, what is it that they're telling you about their state of readiness?
Well, thank you very much and good afternoon. I think it's very important to indicate that the Republic of South Africa must accept that we are in a very difficult period of COVID-19. As a result, the education system will never be the same, simply because of a limited number of days that we had to interact with learners, preparing them for examination. Now, coming back to your question, I think the teachers have done everything possible, except that we could only have wished for an extension of the teaching time, but unfortunately we know that also the Department of Higher Education and Training is also under pressure to receive the students, especially those that are doing matric. But teachers have done everything possible in their power. Today they are still teaching. Schools are supposed to be closed in the Republic of South Africa, but we've seen teachers teaching almost each and every day. We've seen them making arrangements for morning classes, afternoon classes, and some are very excited that they are being put under pressure and they will have to produce results under these circumstances. They are very proud to serve the Republic of South Africa. However, they are worried that what will be the response of the learners. Hence, today we also want to make an appeal as the National Teachers Union to all the parents that teaching and learning is not a responsibility only of teachers and learners, but we also need support of parents to give the learners enough time to prepare for examination and perhaps exempt them from doing some of the works that are supposed to be done at home.
You mentioned that teachers had asked for an extension of teaching time. What does that tell us in terms of, having now to say that our learners are ready to sit for this exam? Are they well equipped to do so?
Well, if you want to make a pronouncement on that, you'll have to compare them with the preparations we put in place for the 2019 class or for the class of 2018. And obviously, the product of 2020 is not going to be the same as those that who were able to sit for examination in 2019 and 2018, because they had a very limited time to interact with their teachers. Most of the time, those who are fortunate to have educated parents, they were getting support from their parents, but some of the learners could not do most of the work simply because their parents could not assist them and the schools were closed. So what we are trying to do now as teachers is to do what we call a damage control. That is why one of our mission as the National Teachers Union is to have a meeting with the Umalusi and try to have a discussion around this. Not necessarily that we want to negotiate that learners be allowed to pass without meeting the necessary standard, but there is a need for the real standardization process of the results, putting in place all the necessary factors to consider the impact of COVID-19. So all in all, I can say, yes, we have tried to prepare learners, but they are not at the level that every teacher will appreciate his or her learners to be before they can go and sit for examination.
Right. You rightfully mentioned those who could not do their work due to a number of factors, also including the fact that they did not have access perhaps to data or to the technology that they needed to keep up with their schoolwork.
Yes.
In terms of frustrations that teachers have shared with you, because they will have to bear some of the burden and help our learners get along, what is it that they have told you?
Well, the main issue is the problem of the rotation that is happening in our school. So this rotational system, which is allowing a certain group of learners to come to school and another group not to come to school. There are learners who will attend class once a week. Some will attend class once after 2 weeks, depending on the size of the school. Remember, those who are coming mainly from the rural schools and also the township schools, they have a serious problem of overcrowded classes. You find that the school is having 8 classes of grade 11, and the most smallest class is having at least a minimum of 80 learners. So you can imagine when you are supposed to subdivide them into 20 learners per class, it means that you will have to multiply the number of classes such that they occupy the entire school. As a result, those who are doing other grades will be expected not to come to school because the school will be made available to the grade 11 learners. So that's a kind of frustration that you'll have to teach one and the same thing almost 10 times per day teaching one and the same class, except that you'll have to reduce the size to 20. As a result, we made the call to the department that some of the schools must be provided with additional teachers so that they can be able to survey the situation. But unfortunately, the provinces were very reluctant to employ additional teachers. As you know, that some of the provinces did not even employ the substitute teachers for those teachers who were at home, who could not come to work because they have some comorbidities. So those are the technical issues that teachers had to be confronted with. Again, the shortage of teaching and learning support material. Some of the learners were sharing the material amongst themselves. So now if you continue subdividing the class, it means that you need more material, and some could not have that material, and the schools had to devise some means to improvise and make sure that at least there is no child that will be segregated in the process and be discriminated unnecessarily. So those are the issues that have been reported to us, and we are still faced with. And we'll have to come up with a strategy to say, how do we approach such issues going forward to a new academic year, which is 2021?
A precarious situation at the best of times. Dr. Thompson, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Allen Thompson is the president of the National Teachers Union.